We're going to call the meeting to order. The Tahlequah City Council regular meeting. It is Monday, June the 3rd, 2024, and the time is 5:35. So we'll have a roll call, please.
Councilor Perry.
Here.
Councilor Baker.
Here.
Councilor Hires.
Here.
Councilor Allen.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. We'll now have our invocation with Tess Courtney. Tess, will you come to the front, please?
Father, we just thank you tonight. We just thank you for what you're going to do here. We ask you for mercy and grace. Let everything be done decently and in order. We thank you that you give wisdom to our council members. We thank you for each and every one that sits up here in front of us, and for those that have come to petition, to inquire, to get advice, to let then the council know some of the things that's going out in the community. We just praise you for that and thank you that we have such wonderful people that are willing to stand and take care of government business here in our county and in our city. We praise you and thank you for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Tess. You'll join us now for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Well,
We're now going to do public comments. If you have a public comment, step forward and give your name. Make sure to speak into the microphone.
I won't cause any problems about all the police officers here. But
Thank you.
I did bring with me tonight. My name's Jim Jones. I live at Aspen Drive. I've been talking to you about 5 months now about the stormwater drain problem we have out there.
Mhm.
No one has ever done anything yet. I've got a copy of the public works statement
Mhm.
that I pay every month. And it's got an item on it for stormwater drain. So everybody in Tahlequah gets a copy of this.
Yes, sir.
Everybody pays to it. I hope they're getting better service than we are.
Mhm.
Our stormwater drain problem still exists out there. I've been there 2 years. It's always been wet. I've been told that, if we wait till it dries up, we'll fix it. Well, we're waiting 2 years now and it hasn't dried up yet. It's not going to until we fix it. So, fortunately, I've gotten to know most of you again. 75 years ago next month, I was born up here in the assessor's office.
Yeah.
So every time I go up there, I feel like I'm at home. But thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have public comments?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Rita Bergman, and I'm here just to open a discussion about fluoride in our water. I believe we need to reevaluate that decision based on the data that's available. So, I mean, no one in this room had any part in making the decision to put fluoride in our water, and I just think that we should think about it. So, for those who don't know, fluoride is one of the most violently poisonous elements there is. That's why there is a poison label on the toothpaste, okay? And great care has to be taken to avoid harm to the workers who handle it. So I have a document here that has a compilation of many studies. There's like 17 pages of references in it, and I'm just going to try to hit some of the high points. Fluoride is the only chemical added to the water for the purpose of medical treatment. It does not improve the quality of the water and is not an essential nutrient. A bottle-fed baby can get up to 300 times more fluoride than a breastfed baby, just from the water used. Fluoride does accumulate in the body, and it's implicated in increases in hip fractures. There are 33 studies indicate it may reduce IQ. It can impair kidney function and cause neurological issues. And currently, no health agency is monitoring fluoride exposure or side effects. So it's in, and it's in a lot of products. It has made its way into it. So we don't even know how much we're getting. To make that even worse, the chemicals used to fluoridate the water are not pharmaceutical grade. Instead, they typically come from the wet scrubbing systems of the phosphate fertilizer industry. I don't know what ours is using, but we should find out. And I have another reference is a book by a dentist, Weston Price. There's actually an institute on the back on behalf of his research. It's an incredible piece of work. And one of the quotes I'll say is adding fluoride to the food or water for general use is beyond the practice of dentistry. His research is detailed in this book and shows conclusively that the cause of tooth decay is linked clearly to the introduction of processed foods. And this is a study all over. It's very comprehensive. So I have spoke to the EPA and DEQ about this years ago. They were supposed to do a study over 10 years ago now to actually assess the levels of fluoride exposure from multiple sources and the possible correlation with bone fractures. They said, well, we'd be glad to do that study if you give us more money, but we don't have enough money to do that. I said, well, why don't we reduce it at least to the bottom level? They said, oh, there's a county somewhere in Oklahoma that has higher levels and we can't afford to remove it from their water system. That would be very costly. So we can't do that either. Just a little history, 97% of Western Europe do not consume fluoridated water.
Mrs. Bergman, I'm sorry, you have 3 minutes.
Okay,
If you can
and-
wrap up.
Okay,
Good,
yeah,
please.
and there are other countries that have to remove it because of the health issues. So we pay to put this in our water at a risk to our workers and our health, and I think we really need to reconsider.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Any other public comments at this time? You guys want me to turn the air conditioner down? Is it hot out there? Okay. Carry on.
Item number 4 is the consent agenda. These items are placed on the agenda for unanimous vote. Any item not meeting with unanimous consent from all councilmen will be moved to the regular session.
Wow.
I'd like to remove item O.
Any other item, council? Any other items?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Councilor Hires,
Yes.
Councilor Baker,
Yes.
Councilor Perry,
Yeah.
Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I think there were over 50 items on that consent agenda, so thank you all for that.
Item number 5 is announcements and presentations. We'll do service recognition first. First up is BJ Baker. 10 years, Tahlequah Fire Department.
That's 16.
Mhm.
That's 16.
Chris Armstrong, 10 years. Miles. Forrest Miller isn't here, but he had 10 years with Waste Management. And last but not least, Michael Gray, 10 years with the Tahlequah Police Department. Police Chief. Nate King, would you like to do your presentation at this time?
We're here tonight for one of the good parts of being a police chief, recognizing an officer for service above and beyond the call of duty. On the 15th day of April this year, our David shift, these gentlemen sitting right behind us, responded to a domestic violence call. And the suspect in that had fled the scene before they arrived. Officer Trammell, David Trammell, found him a short time later. He had a broken bottle, holding it to his neck, threatening to harm himself, to end it. Officer Trammell distinguished himself that night by employing exceptional tactics, exercising sound judgment beyond the normal demands of duty to preserve the life of another. Someone who was in a volatile situation, and Officer Trammell deployed his taser to stop the self-harm. Not very often we get commended for using our taser for a life-saving award, but tonight I'd like to present Officer David Trammell with the Preservation of Life Commendation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No practice runs now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll continue to the regular session. Item 6A, discussion and possible action on items removed from the consent agenda. Item O,
The piece of equipment that was gonna be purchased is no longer available, so request no action on that.
Item 6B, discussion on the public hearing on the proposed 24-25 fiscal year budget.
So this is the public hearing portion of the budget process. I would entertain anybody that'd like to speak regarding the proposed budget. Come to the podium and speak on that.
Any questions?
Couldn't be here for the first public hearing, but I just wanted to commend city administrator and the mayor, our finance department for the hard work they put in on the budget, for getting each department as much as they could for their requests. So thank you for that. And we look forward to working with you this year.
Why, thank you.
No one has any input for the public hearing? Okay. We'll move right along to item 6C. Motion to approve with modification or deny resolution numbers 0603-2024, a resolution approving the city of Tahlequah, Oklahoma budget for the fiscal year 24-25 and establishing budget amendment authority, city administrator Taylor Tannehill and Mayor Suzanne Myers.
I would just like to thank the staff in the finance department, Taylor Tannehill, everybody that worked on this, the department heads who gave us a tremendous amount of information. And you're also everyone's willingness to work together and see the big picture. And I couldn't be more thankful for a team that works together. And as my gavel says, all oaring in the same direction. So thank you very much, Taylor.
Yeah, I just kind of want to echo those sentiments. I want to thank the department heads and the finance department especially for working diligently over the last few weeks to put this together. We prepared a balanced budget for the council to approve. If there were a motion tonight, I would recommend the modifications of increasing, we had a couple of errors, salary of the code enforcement officer by $500, and that change, not increasing the revenue side. The offset would come out of a quarter out of the stormwater fund and the remainder out of the reserve for the professional services. And then also appropriating the unappropriated fund balance in the street and sidewalk fund. Typically in the past, we've placed that in a line item, the street and sidewalk fund for street improvements. And that gives us some flexibility as the year goes on without having to come to council for budget amendments for, asphalt projects and things like that that come up.
Marty, do you see any issues with the budget as presented?
No, it looks good. We've reviewed it and gone over it many times, and so the minor adjustments are not material at this point compared to what we looked at previously, in my opinion. So I'm for it.
Motion to approve with those amendments that Taylor laid out. Second.
Counselor Allen,
Yes.
Counselor Carey,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Hires,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.
Item 6D, discussion and possible action to authorize the mayor to negotiate the use of ARPA funds for transitional housing in collaboration with Help in Crisis. Counselor Ward 4 Josh Allen and City Administrator Taylor Tannehill.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think at this point, I don't know if there's a much need for a back and forth with Help in Crisis at the moment. What we're requesting is, we have their formal proposal. We know what they're requesting. I think we know the general idea of what the council's wanting to see with this, and that is to help in Crisis out as best we can. So if we could, we're just asking for a motion to authorize the mayor to negotiate. And I think if this needs to be brought back to council for final approval, I think the mayor would be happy to do that.
So moved.
I do have a question, just not asking if it needs to be, I know if time is of a necessity for them or for us, is that a,
For us, the time frame that we've got to work on is December 31st of this year, at least obligated. We do have to spend them 2 years after December 31st of this year. But that's the deadline I think we need to be working on. I'm sure that the Help in Crisis folks would want to move on this sooner rather than later. The proposal that they still do have to come up with some additional funds to secure the purchase of a couple of duplexes. But this is gonna get them to that next level, so we're gonna work hard with them to do this. Okay, yeah.
Second.
Counselor Allen,
Yes.
Counselor Carey,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
yes.
Counselor Hires,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Item 6E, discussion and possible action to approve with modifications, or deny resolution number 0603-2024B, a resolution changing the zoning from RS3 to an R2 at 923 North Cali Avenue, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Planning and Development Director Paige Harjo.
Good evening, council. This is Paige Harjo with the Planning and Development Director. I'm the Planning and Development Director, City of Tahlequah. And we had a zoning change, we had a planning commission meeting where we had voted on the zoning change for the property located at 923 North Cali Avenue. And it was approved. We changed the zoning from RS3 to RM2. And the reason for this is it was requested by the owner, the Wisely family, who are here in attendance tonight. They are wanting to remodel the existing house, and they're wanting to go ahead and create a duplex or a quadplex residence, specifically for maybe college students. That's probably going to be the biggest demand there in that location. There is a planning and development staff report that was provided in the packet. So this gives you a little bit more information. It shows the existing land use and proposed land use, as well as the surrounding land use. So there are a couple of maps attached that gives you a little bit more vision on where the property is located. It is very close to the college campus, about a block. So this not only fits the neighborhood, but it fits our comprehensive plan in the future where we would like to, or there might be some upcoming or future changes to some of the residents around there, turning in their homes into maybe more college type housing. So that is the reason for the change. I'm available to answer any questions or receive any comments. And we also have the Wisely family here who can answer any questions that you may have.
For clarification, the recommendation from the committee was,
Yes, it was a zoning change from RS3 to RM2.
and they
They all
recommending
voted
approving
for
that.
nothing to approve it, sorry.
That's okay. Any questions of Paige or the Wisely family?
Was there anybody that dissented? Or that was-
Or, of-
Okay, cool.
yeah. Their motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Counselor Allen,
Yes.
Counselor Perry,
Yes.
Counselor Becker,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Item 6F, discussion and possible action to adopt the citizen participation plan for the city of Tahlequah application for the Community Development Block Grant 2024 Small Cities Program. City Administrator Taylor Kane.
Thank you. So this grant comes around every couple of years. This year, our deadline is this month. And a part of the process is approving a citizen participation plan. And so we are planning to have a public hearing on the proposed application on next Tuesday, June 11th at 5:15. What we're proposing to use the funds for is playground equipment for the Anthus Brennan expansion. We will, the total money is, I think, about little less than 150,000. And looking at playground equipment, 150,000 doesn't go very far. And so, depending on the cost there, we may look at some supplemental funds to get what we want or what we really need out there. But this is just simply asking for the approval of the participation plan. It's pretty boilerplate language for all CDBG applications.
When was that meeting again?
June 11th, next Tuesday at 5:15.
Okay.
And our application is due on the 14th, next Friday.
Any other questions? We have a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Counselor Perry,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Allen,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
motion carried. Item 6G, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 0603/2024C, a resolution confirming the commitment to facilitate and administer the Small Cities Community Development Block Grant 2024 if awarded. City Administrator Taylor Tino.
Thank you. Another part of the grant process is approving this resolution to support CDBG grant application. Just to be clear, the public hearing for next week does not require council to be there. So you're welcome to come, but it doesn't require a council action. Just want to make that clear. Recommending approval of the resolution. So moved. Second.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Allen,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Perry,
Yes.
motion carried.
Well, look at the time.
Non-adjourned.
Give a motion to adjourn.
Your meeting.
I know, but would anyone like to make one? We are.
I'd just like to hear